What's up guys, it's Alex here, your friendly reef talk, and today is a little bit special because I'm going behind the scenes of a UK aquaculture facility. I'm going to show you around the place, I'll tell you why it's good for the planet, and I'll tell you why you should buy aquaculture corals. And as if that's not enough, at the end of the video I'm going to leave you with 2 minutes of uninterrupted footage of the very best corals, so stick around for that. Right, let's take a look. Today I'm going to tell you about a UK aquaculture facility called Frag. Aquaculture is a sustainable way of breeding and growing corals for the marine aquarium hobby, so this is essentially a coral farm, and it's based right here in the UK. Frag is run by founder Doug Dorrit and is located 20 miles outside of London in a place called Slough, which was of course made famous by BBC sitcom The Office, but Doug is no David Brent and Frag is no paper merchant. Including frags, Doug tells me there are around 13,000 corals at the farm, and that figure is very easy to believe. They specialised in the most desirable corals in the hobby, being high-end, small polyp stony corals, and in particular acropora and montipora. They have around 700 varieties of acropora and a further 400 varieties of montipora. And the first thing that strikes you as you walk into the farm is that it is wall-to-wall tanks filled with corals. I had no idea there were aquaculture facilities of this scale in the UK, and I wouldn't have believed you if you told me we have corals as unique and stunning as these growing right here on my doorstep. The farm is in a purpose-built building where everything is set up to promote coral health, colour and growth. There are more lights than Leicester Square here, and if you laid out all the cabling in the building, it would probably stretch to Jupiter and back. Frag has some rare and beautiful LPS and soft corals too, so if that's your thing, you won't feel left out. But the acropora and montipora corals they specialise in are my personal favourites, so this visit was like Willy Wonka's golden ticket for me. The corals they have here are staggering to look at. A lot of these clips were filmed with an orange lens over the camera to show the colours better, but that still doesn't do them justice, and I can honestly say they look even more vivid and colourful in the flesh. You've never seen so many different colours all in one place, or so many multicoloured corals. I've taken as much footage as possible under white lights so you can see a true reflection of the corals, but my god, when the blue lights go on, the entire farm looks magical. The mere thought of having some of these corals in my own tank leaves me nursing a semi. It's often said that we don't get the same corals in the UK as you see in the United States, and that the best corals are reserved for the American market. But having seen Frag, I can tell you that is not the case. They've spent years buying the best corals, settling them in and colouring them up, and now they have a huge broodstock of amazing corals to frag and sell to us. Next time you're in your local fish shop, ask them if they have any Frag corals. If the answer is no, beg them to start getting these beauties in. One of Frag unique advantages is that a large proportion of what they grow originated in Indonesia, which is where some of the most desirable corals in the hobby come from. And that's particularly important because there's been a ban on exporting corals from Indonesia since May 2018. So having a catalogue of literally thousands of Indonesian corals means Frag can still supply the hobby with some of the finest livestock, which is now otherwise not possible to get hold of. It's also important because aquaculture is a sustainable way for the marine aquarium hobby to continue and might just be the only game in town in the future. My understanding of the Indonesian ban is that it came about because of problems with exporting practices whereby rules weren't being followed to the detriment of the reefs, and that there's not much chance of that ban ending while Indonesian Minister of Fisheries Susi Pujiastuti is still in charge. Before the ban, around 3 million corals were being exported from Indonesia every year. And with that figure dropping to zero overnight, importers look to the next largest market, Australia, to pick up the demand from all around the world. And that leaves me wondering how much longer that can continue. But aquaculture facilities like Frag are changing that. And the good news is that Frag is looking to establish an additional facility by the end of the year, only this time the new farm will be 10 times the size of the current setup, which will mean the UK will finally have something comparable to the world leader in coral aquaculture, Worldwide Corals, in the United States. But while providing an environmentally friendly alternative to anything is something to be applauded, at the end of the day, that goodwill will only go so far, and people will only buy into an alternative if there's a better product in it for them at the end of the day. And I'm pleased to say that's where aquaculture excels. Not only does it save capturing wild corals from places like the Great Barrier Reef, it also results in a better coral for us hobbyists. Wild corals have a traumatic journey to our tanks, making several stops along the many thousands of miles they have to travel. As a result, they get stressed and often don't acclimate well to aquarium conditions. And when that happens, they can wither and die in a matter of months, or die for no apparent reason after seemingly being fine for a year. Whereas properly aquacultured corals have been settled and acclimated to aquarium conditions for years before being fragged and sold. So you get a tank hardened coral that's used to things like home mixed salt water, LED lighting, and minor changes in water chemistry. They're also more likely to be pest free and retain their colours. All of the wild caught colonies I've bought from my current tank have sadly died. So I plan on buying aquaculture corals only from now on as far as possible. Now at the moment Frag Farm only sells to the trade, but they are considering the possibility of selling directly to the public. And I'll be coming back to follow their journey as they grow into their new farm, so subscribe to my channel for updates on the new super facility. So there you have it then, that is Frag Farm. Now before I leave you with uninterrupted footage of the very best corals from the farm, I just want to take a second to say thank you to Doug for inviting me in to see his wonderful farm. I'll put a link in the description to the Frag Farm Facebook page, so if you want to see more videos like this, head over to their Facebook page and let them know. If you enjoyed the video then, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for next Friday's video, and in the meantime, happy reefing. Thank you.